Before we jump into this episode, just a quick reminder, we are playing in the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons system using the Humblewood campaign setting. If you would like to look up any more information about any of those, the links will be in the description of this podcast. Welcome to Guaranteed Adventures, where the story might change, but the adventure is guaranteed.
Guaranteed!
For your money back.
Wait, were we supposed to do something?
No, did you got to get that memo?
Oh, sorry. It's a draft, the email draft memo. I forgot to send it. So, I am your GM, Tim, and going around the table, we've got
Nathan playing Bertram Honksleaf.
Seth playing Otis Sagraine.
The other Seth playing Quill Greybell.
Hey, yo, it's Kyle.
What's up, Kyle?
Who's Kyle playing?
You were the opposite of gangster. Like,
You
were the whitest boy in the room.
Just go to our website and you can see a cartoonized version of
That's very gangster. I play Jean Autant, the Moose Knight.
I don't like the way that you're glaring at me. It was a joke.
I'm so uncomfortable. Last time on Maplewood, you guys defeated a pack of bandits and rifled through some of their stuff and found some clues that may or may not help you on your quest to figure out what has happened to your sapling. Otis interrogated Wesley and found out that the bandits are following someone they call the True Maple. He also found out where the device teleports them to, and that the bandits received the same prophecy that our adventurers received. Jean burst in and arrested both of them and took them back to the monastery. Bertram and Quill found some information about the Tenders and the bandits who are calling themselves the True Tenders. The group decided then to go up to Winnowing Reach or go into the Marsh. I think you're still kind of between those two decisions, and either take out the bandits or try and find out more information from the Tenders at Winnowing Reach. Not the True Tenders, the original Tenders. You guys are outside of the town right now, just a little bit on the north side. What would you like to start off doing?
We have a bunch of papers and stuff, right?
Yes. From what you got from the bandit group, you've got a bunch of pages that look like they've been ripped out of books. You've got some newspaper clippings, some different articles, and a children's book, too, called, it's here somewhere, there, Mockton Cavern Tales, a kind of children's fantasy book.
Okay.
Oh, I loved that book when I was a kid.
Oh, you're familiar with this?
Yeah. Are you not?
I didn't have much of a childhood. I'm going to be honest. So no, I did not have much time. Besides reading it, what's the synopsis?
It's great. And I'll start flipping the pages as I flip through it. It tells the story of creation and how the Amaranth put it all together. They sang their beautiful song, The magic, the power of creation. It got left over in the Mockton Caverns, and everybody's been looking for it since. They call it the Shards of Creation. So all sorts of people have gone looking for it, but nobody's ever found them.
Shards of Creation.
Anyway, what else do we got here?
Well, I was just looking at... Oh, I know we were talking about the children's book.
Oh, you were also looking at the children's book?
I like the pictures.
I'm just going to grab some papers and start looking through them.
Yeah, I'll share the load with Otis.
Okay, make an investigation check. Anyone who's kind of searching through this stuff, make an investigation check for me. And you can do it with advantage since you guys are doing it together.
Good, that was a natural one.
I rolled a 7. Oh, there we go. That's an 18.
Nice.
And that was a 2.
Advantage!
I'm back, baby!
Wait,
Nothing's changed.
Did you roll 2 1s?
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying you had a 2 total.
Oh, no, I had a 1 and a 2.
A 1 and a 2.
And a 3.
So,
and a 4.
Let's go.
Skiddly-diddly-doo.
That's really what's going through his head, Quill's head.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pass out some information here that you guys find.
We just got a letter.
All right, so Quill, I don't think you really found much of anything of use.
I am now fascinated with this children's book. Bertram and I are looking at this together going, oh my gosh.
It is beautifully illustrated. Like, you can get lost in these pictures.
And I am.
Yes.
I am getting lost.
Very clearly lost.
Unfortunately.
Otis, I'm going to hand you some information that you found on in your research.
Otis is going to furiously devour all these papers and everything and try to make sense of it. And then, like, his eyes are just going to get progressively wider until finally his silence breaks and he says, They found him.
What?
They found him.
Found what?
Who found what?
The shards. They found the shards. Look at this. And I'll hold up the book that's, what is it, the Hasselpaw and Beckett book?
Yeah. There's pages ripped out of that book, but it comes from the book Hasselpaw and Beckett, Inventors, Heroes, or Monsters, a biography.
They went to the Mockton, Darius Hasselpaw is his name. He went to the caverns and he found the shards. This guy Beckett joined him along the way and they got together and they've got the shards, or at least a couple of them. It looks like, from what I can tell, the shards gave him some sort of power. So, Hasselpaw became this amazing inventor, and Beckett became this guy that could, tell whatever people wanted, and so they worked together to market their creations all over the world.
Interesting. Do you think that the shards that they got is in this children's book? I'm just trying to make the connection here.
Otis is going to stare at him dumbfounded.
It pains me to play this as my character right now, because I really want to help.
Quill, go ahead and make a history check.
Thank you for the chance.
Yeah, no problem.
Natural 20!
So you remember since you have kids, you know that there is a distinct difference. So Hasselpaw and Beckett were creating trinkets for years and years, but there is a very stark difference that happened about 12 years ago when their trinkets and their toys and stuff shot up in quality and what they can do and stuff like that, where before it was just this little wooden figurine. After that time, it was it could dance or do little tricks or something like that. So there is that's kind of what you remember, that what brings to mind as you're hearing this.
So I wonder if after they received the shards, that is when their toys started becoming more interactive and engaging and honestly just more magical. It seemed like you would never even thought these could have existed prior to that.
I'm going to pull out the trinket that I have. Can anybody tell if this has any magic on it?
Everybody furiously checks their character sheet to make sure.
I'm just I literally have no experience with magic, so I couldn't even make an arc. I don't think Otis would even make an Arcana roll or anything because he just knows nothing. At least two of you have spells.
Yeah, but kind of.
I have one level in Cleric, thank you very much.
Am I really the only spellcaster? I guess Paladin, but
we got half casters all around.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess Otis, because he is putting the pieces together, sort of.
I will cast guidance on you as giving as I'm looking through the picture book or just flipping between the picture book
absently
and
touch my shoulder
yep,
oh yes, do this.
You can do this.
You do good, Hedgehog. You do good.
Ouch.
So that's add a D4 right to the roll? Yes. Perfect. Yeah, so I guess I'll just try Arcana, to see if I notice anything magical about this toy. And because it has a DH on it, right? Or a DB?
HB.
HB.
Yes, it has that stamped on the bottom.
That would be, with the guidance, thank you, a 14.
14? So you see as you're kind of looking at it, you can see that there are definitely moving parts that are not just the arms and the legs and things like that. And at the bottom, you see different circles that are in, there's a half circle, a full circle, three-quarter circle. And you can tell from that when the moon is in a certain position, this little trinket assumes a certain character. So it's they're all different gods from the Amaranth. So there's different bird folk that assumes, or humble folk that it just kind of morphs into that shape, and it's that for that moon cycle.
And based on my natural 20 history check, can I...
This is definitely post when they found the shards.
Okay.
Wait, I was still kind of a kid when the Great Calamity happened. Were Hasselpaw and Beckett doing stuff before that?
Yes.
And was it around that same time that they jumped up?
Yeah, I remember it happening almost like a year or two right before the calamity.
I'm going to hold up a newspaper clipping slowly. Guys, look at this. This says that Hasselpaw and Beckett, they were working out of the grove before the calamity. Darius Hasselpaw had his workshop there. I guess it says Beckett worked out of Ashborough. But Darius Hasselpaw was definitely in the grove before the calamity. And look at this. It says their last cataloged invention was said to have the ability to breathe life back into plants.
Okay, so at the very least, this is something that we have to at least pursue because we're trying... Granted, our saplings are not dead, but if they can breathe life back into dead plants, maybe it could heal at least our dying plant.
I don't think that's what it is. I think something went wrong. Because did you finish reading the children's book?
Well, Bertram's kind of been hogging it right now.
One last page. Sorry. Okay, here you go.
Look, there's a moral at the end of every story in there. Oh, it warns you that if you don't return the shards of creation to their resting place, it unleashes all sorts of havoc.
So you think that possibly Hasselpaw took it, was in doing all these great things, this great invention, and because he didn't take it back, that's might have what started the calamity?
I think so. And I think that whatever the Bandit Coalition has, I think that's that invention.
Oh, shoot. We have to go find this. Like, we have to at least go find the invention at the very least, but then do you think that Hasselpaw or Beckett is still alive?
Seems likely, right?
Do you think they're behind this, or were they part of just the issue?
I don't know.
We'll have to ask them if we do see them.
Well, okay, so if you're trying to... If the invention was wrong, and now the calamity started, that's why all this fire, the force that's devouring our plant life, do you think that they're trying to steal the energy from the saplings to fuel whatever invention that they have? To sort of like try to counteract the fact that there's chaos from the shard?
Not necessarily. Maybe. I'm going to pull out Otis is going to pull out the prophecy that he's had.
Yeah.
How beautiful my children were. Will they ever be this way again? My branches feel stiff and dry. They shine as spring comes closer and bringing with it my end. I think we have to get these... I think we have to find whatever shard they've got and return it before the spring. Otherwise, it's going to destroy everything, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. Maybe we should still go to Winnowing Reach. See if the tenders know anything about what happened during the calamity. Maybe they know about Hasselpaw and Beckett. Maybe they can give us some more information. There's been rumors of the tenders, but we haven't heard... I haven't heard anything in our training that they exist anymore, but they've got... someone's got to have lived. And they were closest to Winnowing Reach. So I think that's where we should still head. And then if we got to get that invention, we got to get that device, whatever they were using to cause all this destruction.
The swamp is basically on the way to Winnowing Reach, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. You can skirt around the swamp's edge on your way up there, or you can go... it would be a little bit of your way to go through the swamp.
I think we should go through the swamp. Because right now we have one advantage over Sherwin Frostrock, and that is that he doesn't know that we have Wesley. I can easily disguise myself as Wesley, but if I show up at camp a week from now, that's going to be incredibly suspicious. But if we go right there, I might actually be able to get in as Wesley.
How do you know Wesley?
He was a circus performer back in the day. He came through Mapleheart all the time. He swindled my dad out of some money. We ran into each other a couple of times. I got into a little bit of trouble when I was younger.
Can I make an insight check?
Absolutely, you can make an inside check.
Here we go. Okay. I can do it.
You can do it.
Do you want me to roll anything?
Not yet.
Gosh, freaking dang it. 4.
4?
Well, yeah. if I add something to it, it's
yeah. Go ahead and add
7.
your modifier. You're 7. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah it's. It's plausible.
You are so lucky that I have never been able to roll like higher than a 10.
I mean, I have a +10 persuasion and deception.
Yeah.
So if
I
wanna
understand that,
convince someone,
but it's to your advantage the fact that I can't
Yep.
roll above a 10 right now on any of those rolls.
What is Jean doing while they're kind of having this whole conversation and everything like that?
Jean's just been staring blankly out, and just like out into the trees.
He just has like white noise going in his
He's
head.
just kind of like imagining fighting in the trees. Just like he's always battle ready, so he's just like wondering if someone tries to attack them right now, what he would do and all that
Nice.
stuff.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
That's always a good sign.
That is a 10.
A 10. Nice. Kind of looking into the trees because you're on the edge of town. You can see the marsh from where you're at. Are you looking like more into the marsh or more into the forest?
He's just kind of just blankly staring, just kind of like scanning, but like not trying to see anything. He's just imagining if a battle was happening.
Yeah. So as he's kind of scanning through and around, you see way off in the distance a brief flash of light. Kind of seems like it could have been like a firefly that was just weird and that like it looked like it was far away at a distance, but you're not exactly sure. But it could have been something else too.
Kind of just walk that towards it.
It was like it was miles away.
Oh.
Yeah, you're able to see through the marsh quite a bit, and it's getting close to dark now, and so it stood out a little ways.
Is that where they're talking about we're going though?
Yeah, they were talking about going into the marsh or into Winnowing Reach.
Can I just start walking?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna start walking.
Yeah, so Jean just like starts taking off.
Jean, hold up. What do you...
Are we done with the talk? Now we can do the walk.
He has a point.
wait, you're walking straight towards the swamp?
We?
Great. Quill, you can get us through the swamp without dying?
Yes.
Great. Okay, but we need a few things before we go.
Okay, fine.
We need incense, we need candles, we need string, we need to make sure we've got some rope, and we need at least 2 more crossbows.
Where are you going with this?
What are we missing?
Oh, and we need acorns.
Do we want to know?
I've got a plan.
Okay, famous last words. All right, why don't you guys start headed to the marsh? I'll go pick up those things. I can catch up to you guys a lot quicker.
Well, it's getting close to night, so if you go through the marsh now, it'll be pretty difficult. Like,
well, the marsh is still a while far away, right?
you're in Marshview, so you can see.
Oh, it's in view.
That makes sense. Literally in view there. So
I obviously knew that.
of course you did. Yes,
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just conveniently forgot for story purposes. Okay,
Of course.
It was purely a comedy bit.
Yes.
Good bit.
I don't want to stay in our hometown anymore. I want to leave.
You can camp on the outskirts. You don't have to stay
I will.
in town.
Otis, do you have any money from the maple?
Yeah.
Great. Why don't you go back in?
Yeah, I can catch up.
Yeah. Great.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure I'm faster than everyone.
Why don't we just get to the edge of the marsh? I mean, I know it's in view, but let's just get there so we can just get up and go.
Sweet.
I'll find us a good spot to sleep.
Yeah.
Can I get all that stuff I said?
Yes. Yeah, you'll be able to go. And most of that
Shopping montage.
stuff actually most of that stuff is in the monastery. So you can just kind of pick it out through a storehouse. You can leave some money if you want.
I'll drop some. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll leave some.
Nice.
I have money.
It's kind of a honor system type thing. There's prices listed, but nothing is actually
Literally
checked.
drop it.
Literally drop it.
Like they have the basket of candy. Like, please only take one.
Yes. Yeah, so you guys walk for maybe about an hour or so and find a great spot to bed down and get out your rolls for the night. As you three, Bertram, Quill, and Jean, have been traveling or at least did some training together, do you guys have like a routine that you would do when you were camping or something like that in your training?
I feel like
Depends on who has night vision.
I do.
So they would probably
Like-
be the one doing the watch in the middle of the night at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I figured like since Bertram is more he's the single one of the crowd, like he's more of the midnight hours because whether it be dealing with kids, like trying to put kids to bed or waking up early to deal with the kids, like he's kind of like I'm used to the staying up late past not having any kids to worry about bedtimes schedules. I'm okay with the like a middle watch if there's a 3-part watch system.
I think it usually probably goes that it's Quill, Bertram, and then Jean, because Jean's used to getting up first at his house.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll keep first watch. Otis, you can rest.
Great.
You are the speaker, and we must honor that. Please get some rest. I'm sure you'll have to.
No, he's not the speaker. He's the
Maple Leaf.
And the speaker for the speaker.
Sure.
Is there a difference?
I'm just like eating an acorn.
Is that why you wanted us to get the acorns?
The acorns are important.
They help me focus.
Okay, yeah. I'll take first watch.
Nice. So you guys wake up the next morning, and there has been a little bit of mist that has come in. Not terribly a lot, but since the marsh is marshy, a marshy mist has arisen from the marshlands. So I'm going to take something as you're traveling. I'm going to take something from a game called Adventures in Middle-earth, which is a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. And I love the way they do journeys, which is everybody has a role that they play, and they roll a die. You do a skill check based on that roll, and how well the party does as a whole determines how well the journey goes. So there is a guide who is kind of the one making the decisions for where to go and what to do. There is a scout who scouts out the best path to take and gives options. There's a lookout who is obviously looking out for danger. And then there's a hunter who is doing like food gathering, kind of more defense stuff, things like that. So what roles would you guys like to take?
I think Seth wants to take every single role.
You got this, Quill.
I don't want to take every role, but at the same time going, I'm a ranger. I can be a guide. I can be a scout. I can be a hunter. And I can be the other one?
The lookout.
The lookout.
Yeah.
I think your most valuable asset to us is scouting ahead.
Fair enough.
So for the scout, you can make nature or survival or perception checks to find your way.
Hands down survival.
Sweet. Before you roll, what's everybody else doing?
I think our guide can pretty much just follow whatever he's doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't see him very well because I'm short and stuck in the fog.
Didn't I just try to lead us the wrong direction earlier?
Yes, you did.
I can be the guide.
Jean can be the guide. Him and
Jean's
I
the guide.
have worked together well, probably.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah. That makes sense. We got lookout and hunter left.
So I'll be lookout.
Nice.
I think Otis is a vegetarian.
Can someone do more than one?
You can, but it'll be at disadvantage.
I mean, I'm willing to try something, but I can be the hunter, but I'll probably just come back with
Do you want me to be the hunter and then?
goods.
How about you be the gatherer?
I'll be the gatherer.
Yeah.
I can be the gatherer or
Hunter-gatherer.
the lookout. I'm good with whatever.
Let's do that.
Okay. So the guide can make very similar checks. That really, I'm not going to be as strict as they are. So give me a skill that you would like to use and tell me how you want to use that to fulfill your thing.
Cool. So I will, as the scout, I'll go first, and then guide will be Jean,
Okay.
and then lookout will be
Bertram.
who will he's just watching for danger, essentially, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool. I guess I'll start and
Yeah.
see where we go.
Go for it. What skill check are you making?
Survival.
Survival.
I get
Okay.
+9.
Nice.
That is a 24.
24. Sweet. All right, guide. What skill check are you making?
Obviously, you just get to keep that natural 20 that you rolled earlier,
A
so it
lot
doesn't
of
matter.
negatives here.
Persuasion. Lead us.
Athletics?
I was like, I'm going to use my athletics to just carry everybody.
Clear
Yes. Clear paths. Yes.
Am I allowed to do
Constantly
that?
charging.
Yeah. Go for it.
We'll leave a trail.
That is a 20, not natural.
20. Nice. Lookout.
So I would probably be using perception to look out, but as a barbarian, I do also have a feat called Danger Sense, which, while in the context of D&D, is more of I have advantage on dexterity saving throws of things I can see. Could I argue in this case that I would be more perceptive to like the immediate vicinity, and so my head's a bit more on the swivel?
Yeah.
Plus, it's that the long goose neck is a bit more rotation.
Always
around.
on a swivel.
Yeah. I'm not quite.
I'll
an owl,
allow
but-
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
That is a 16.
16. And then our gatherer. hunter-gatherer.
I'll use nature,
Yeah.
unless for some reason you let me use sleight of hand to pick berries.
I mean, if you want to use sleight of hand, you can use sleight of hand.
I can't even convince myself it's a good argument. I'll use nature. Oh, 11.
11. Nice. Not bad.
Yeah. That is a very average roll.
Yeah. Sweet. So you guys just trucking through this way. You, Quill, are able to find like some tracks and some paths that are definitely not from the creatures who live in the marsh. So you're able to kind of follow some of those. And as you've kind of been going along, Bertram, you start hearing this awful kind of terrible squawking sound. But every once in a while, it sounds like a clatter of bones that just kind of like clatter, and then there's a terrible like.
I think he would probably try to get everyone to stay in one place, and then like wait to see if he hears anything else. And if there's like silence, he'll just kind of after like a couple seconds be like, "All right, keep going."
There is silence after a couple of seconds, but then it picks up again.
Okay. So it's a repeat process at first, like the first couple times, but then as soon as he kind of realizes this is going to keep happening, it's just like. Just keep going.
Okay, it's kind of moving too. So it's not like it's following you, but it's moving from like left to right in front of you.
Okay, like left to right. Then like does it go back? To left,
no, it just kind of goes and then it starts going. Keeps going off.
I just kind of keep my head kind of pivoted towards it as you keep going forward, but just kind of keep looking that direction.
As you're kind of keep walking a little bit further, Quill, you find in the mud of the marsh and the grass and everything, some very like skeletal imprints of what looks like birds' feet that are kind of tracking a way off. But then you also see right in the middle of them very clear shoe prints. They look kind of like chicken feet. Not skeletal chicken feet,
Sure.
but like regular chicken feet.
Are they?
Which there's a subtle difference.
A layer of skin.
You know.
Interesting. So skeletal feet on either side. Mm-hmm. Would I make the assumption then that there are two skeletal things carrying a chicken being, or more?
No, it looks like the chicken footprints came first, then the skeleton chicken footprints came second.
Am I familiar with like skeletal creatures?
Make a history check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah. So it's not very often, but there are definitely tales of birdfolk skeletons in the marshes that kind of come around and kind of harass people. They're not a huge issue. Nobody really knows why they've came about. Some people think it was due to the Great Calamity. Some people swear they've seen them beforehand. It really becomes a problem when a group of them come together and form what is called a cobblefright, which is a big amalgamation of birdfolk skeletons.
Bertram, did you point out the sound to us, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would have stopped and then kind of
Pointed that direction?
Yep. Pointed the direction as I'm hearing it move.
I think Quill, in his training, knows that being familiar with the land and it being a ranger, he's probably going to try to scout. Looking at Otis eating an acorn, he's going to recommend that they keep going and look at Jean and say, "Could you make your signal about every 3 minutes so I can come back and find you?" Meaning, there's something that Jean just kind of racks on his antler rack, just a signal, so that way I have a point back, so that way they can keep going. But I'm gonna scout ahead and then be able to find them on the way back.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scout ahead, see if there's a Gallus, one of the chicken folk, to see if they need help, or if this is just let's just stay out of this. We have a mission. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. You're able to scout ahead, and you start seeing more of these tracks, kind of converging, kind of to one spot.
Okay.
And as you kind of follow them a little bit, you start hearing that same squawking, awful sound. But then you also hear a very faint, "No, stop, get away, What are you doing?
Okay.
Definitely somebody yelling.
Cool. I think I'm going to quickly take one of my quill arrows and light it on fire, and then listen to where the rack noises that Jean is making, and just like shoot it towards them. Obviously not at them, but like
right.
so that way that's just a signal for them to come in the direction that it was lit.
Nice. Go ahead and make an attack roll. You want to roll well on this.
24.
Okay, nice. Yeah. If you rolled poorly, it would have done a luck check to hit one of them, but you didn't. So
cool.
So you shoot it. You guys start to see this flaming arrow come from kind of a more north direction, and sails over your head. And Jean, you know exactly what that means.
What was that? Is somebody shooting at us?
It is Quill. He's letting us know he needs us.
Oh.
Quill is just like getting ready, like just waiting in the muck.
So I'll lead everyone towards where I think the arrow came from.
Sweet. Yeah, so you guys all start going that direction. And when you're getting closer, the sound of the squawking starts getting louder and louder. And you start hearing a very clear something like, help! Help me! Is anyone there? Help!
I'm going to give them just a quick overview. Otis, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's going on.
Otis looks visibly spooked and shakes his head no.
Okay.
There were definitely stories of bird skeletons and cobble frights in the children's tale.
Okay, so I've heard of them.
Yes.
But I've never seen them.
I'm going to look at the other two gentlemen. This is what we do. Let's take care of business, save who we got to save.
Mess with the honk, you get the bonk.
Nice.
Otis, I'm going to say observe and go in when you can.
Otis nods.
And I would say one thing that you're going to want to be aware of is these skeletals work better with you smashing versus slicing. So if you have any way to smash versus slice, I know you have daggers, but if you can smash, that's going to be a lot easier for you.
I have nothing to smash with. I stab.
Bertram smash.
Bertram smash.
Jean or Bertram, do you have any other, like a hammer or anything that Otis can borrow?
I look at my warhammer and I'm like,
no, you keep that.
I have one.
I don't think I have any.
I have a quarterstaff.
Will you use that?
No.
Sure.
Go for it. Yeah.
I think I'm proficient with that.
Okay.
Because it's not a martial weapon, is it?
No, it shouldn't be.
No.
D6, but then I think you can use two.
Versatile.
So then you can get
Yeah.
D8.
You can get a D8 if you use two-handed.
Is it like twice the size of me?
No, it's just a quarterstaff. So it's
Oh, okay. So it's like a sword for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It was
Like
like
a quarterstaff for you. It's like the...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's a good half, three-quarter staff for me.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
what I was racking against my antlers to signal him.
I like it.
All right. So you guys start rolling up to where the sound is, and you're
Physically rolling.
physically rolling.
I am a hedgehog.
The scenery around, there are definitely kind of pools of water and some like little running streams here and there with tufts of grass. But as you're kind of getting closer and closer to the sound, you see there's a small island that's there with a couple of trees. And as you're looking, you see in one of the taller trees, there's this Gallus, this chicken guy who's dressed all in very kind of fancy, looks more like ceremonial robes. And there is a large skeleton, just kind of amalgamation of all these like bird folk things that's trying to claw and paw up the tree to try and get to him. And then there's a couple of other smaller ones that are kind of around too. But let's roll initiative.
Nat 20!
Nice. All right, Jean,
17.
Quill,
26.
Bertram,
7.
7, and Otis,
15.
15. Nice. And I think before we get into this fight, I think we're going to call it there.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I'm doing it. This is Guaranteed Adventures, right on the edge of a fight. Come back next week to hear how well our adventurers defeat this cobble fright. Going around the table, we've got
Nathan playing Bertram Honksleaf.
Seth playing Otis Sagraine.
I'm the other Seth playing Quill Greybell.
And I'm Kyle playing Jean Autant.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Guaranteed Adventures is brought to you by Tim Gallegos as our GM, Nathan Kuipers, Seth Guthrie, Kyle Bateman, and myself, Seth Kleinwort. Our theme song was created by Rob Benson, and our Maplewood theme is Wonderland by Roman Senny K Music. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GU AdventurePod. Please feel free to give us a rating on your podcast platform of choice and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the episode, and here's a preview of our next episode coming out next week.
I would like to try to land on the Cobble Fright. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'd like to bonus action rage, though, as I'm in the air.
Yes.
Let's go!
What does it look like as you're gliding down?
Oh, no, I'm not gliding.
Oh, you're just falling.
I'm just going,
Yes.
I'm just going to suplex more.
like Rain of
at this
Fire.
point.
Give him the people's elbow.
Sonic boom.